Hello again, Roy Spear, Equity Source Mortgage, your Maple Grove mortgage lender. Another common question: how do I know it makes sense to refinance? This is a question or a calculation or an idea that people in our business, they should be anyways, are looking at every single day. And here's how Equity Source Mortgage helps you figure out whether or not it makes sense to refinance. If there are going to be costs involved with refinancing. Example, you're at 6 1/4 and you want to refinance to 5% on a $200,000 loan. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the payment difference on the principal balance between the 6 1/4 down to the 5%. And then once we have that difference in payment, we're going to take the aggregate cost that it would take to refinance. What's this going to cost me? You know, it costs money to do a refinance, unless it's a no-cost refinance, and we'll cover that later. What we're going to then do is we're going to take the difference in payment, or the savings, and divide it into the amount of the total closing costs. And essentially what that's going to do is it's going to tell us the number of months it takes to recoup the closing costs that we paid to do this. And then we're going to get that figure, which could be 24 months, could be 36 months, could be 90 months. And we're going to come back to you and say, okay, if you stay in the home for that number, that divisor that we came up with, then this makes sense for you. If that number is a very large number, meaning that number of months to recoup, well, then we're going to sit down and have another conversation, because it may or may not be worth refinancing. So that black and white of it, that's the number one method that we use to determine whether it's worth it to refinance. You may have seen in the past, you may hear on the radio, etc., hey, you know, refinance your loan for 1/4% less than what you're paying now. You know, be careful with all that, because a lot of times they're not taking into consideration, you know, whether it's worth doing. And I've seen a lot of crazy ads out there. I've seen a lot of weird tactics. Make sure a refinance is right for you by letting us do the math for you, because the math doesn't lie.